to a little bonus episode. This is not really a podcast episode, this is just kind of a going through all of my whips episode. I'm Elliementalist, your host, and I sometimes podcast. I also post some tutorials and stuff on my YouTube, so you're welcome to check those out if you're interested. I am on Instagram as Elliementalist. I have a design store where I post some pattern designs both on Payhip, and also I've now started uploading them to my Ko-fi account as well. I'll link all of those down below in the description bar. But today we're going to go through some of my whip bags, and this was kind of inspired because I really wanted to start a new pair of socks for my mom, and I was going to get ready to turn skeins into balls. But I realized I didn't have a project bag for it, and I have a couple of skeins that I want to do up, so I really want to have some project bags to keep the balls in, because if you've used a ball winder you know that those balls aren't always super secure, so I don't want them just lying around. I'd rather have them in a project bag, and I discovered that all of my project bags are currently being used. And I was kind of tempted to just use some of my Wool Warehouse or Amazon bags, but I don't know if you've ever noticed those, but they often tend to kind of fray and the edges need serging, so I thought, oh, maybe I'll just zigzag them and that'll work. And then my husband said, well, where are your project bags? And I was like, well, they have stuff in them. So that kind of prompted me to think maybe I should take a step back and put my mom's socks on hold and kind of go through my project bags and maybe finish some of these projects or figure out what's in them. So that's what I'm going to do with you today. So let's just get started. So the first one I'm going to be doing, pretty much all of these bags I made myself, other than one which is just, a couple of them are just in some Wool Warehouse bags, but you'll notice those. But anyway, so this actually has a tag on it, so I was kind of prepared, and it tells me what's in it, so it's actually a design test knit that I'm doing for myself, so there's no kind of time pressure on it. But this was a shawl that my mom actually designed. And then I decided to write it up as a pattern because she just designed it to knit for herself. But I kind of wrote it up, and that's what's in this bag. So I really need to work on this as well and get this finished. And then I can potentially publish the pattern or see what my mom wants to do with the pattern. So that is something that definitely needs working on. And the colors I'm using, so far I've only been using this color, which is the Eco Fusion, a unique bamboo cotton yarn by Nurturing Fibers. This is a South African yarn, and the color is Paris. So this is 50% bamboo viscose and 50% cotton. And it recommends a 3 to 3.5 millimeter needle, but I'm pretty sure that I'm busy using 4 or 5. It's a 5. Oh, that's right, because my mom designed it when she knit it was on a 4, but my mom's tension is a lot more loose than mine, so I'm knitting it on a 5 just so I can try and match what my mom's was. And I'm going to change my colors some part way through. I'm not sure where. I can't remember. I started this in 2019. So it's been a while, so I really do need to kind of get this, because I don't want to frog it. I do want to have the finished garment, so I do need to work on it. And the other color I was going to use is also the Eco Fusion by Nurturing Fibers, but the color is London, which I will post some pictures of the colors kind of zoomed up. They look really nice. So that is the first project bag. So this one is unfortunately going to stay full because it's something that I do actually need to work on. Then I'm trying to pick ones which I know have knitting in them first. So this one I've also labeled is my cable socks. Oh my goodness, and it tells me I began it in 2018. Oh dear. So these, I've actually finished the one sock. Oops. I believe these were the Winwick Mum. I've done something interesting by finishing the cable like way before the foot ends, but anyway. I think I got tired of doing cables. So these are a cable sock that I started, and they're from a Winwick Mum pattern, so I will link to that as well. But they're out of some beautiful yarn. It's super soft and like buttery smooth. So the purple is Heritage Cascade yarn, so there'll be Cascade yarns. Heritage is a sock yarn, 75% merino superwash and 25% nylon. and the color just has a number. It's a 5614. So I have the one done, and oh, I've just cast on. Just have the ribbing done for the one sock. So I really do need to actually finish these. 2018, good grief. Yeah, I really need to finish these. I've like, in this time, I've knit a whole cable jumper for my husband, so it's not like I can't knit cables, but yeah. So these also really need to be finished. I think that's everything I had to say about those. Then, oh, okay, so this is probably a free project bag that I can empty real quick. I just need to find a box or something. It's labeled random swatches, etc. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just granny squares, crochet ribbing, more knitted squares. Yeah, so this bag, oh, little bunny ears that I started in, I think, 2018 or 2017. Yeah, so these, I need to just find a box, chuck those in the box, and I can use this project bag for something next. So this is an easy win. Great. I'm going to put that on the side. That doesn't feel like knitting. That doesn't feel like knitting. That doesn't feel like knitting. This feels like it could be. Oh, and it's got a label. Oh, Tweedy cable jumper. So I think this is going to be a frog, if I remember this correctly. It was a cable jumper I started for myself. Yes, this is a cable jumper that I started. And I just didn't really fall in love with it. And thinking about it, this is not really a color that I wear very much. I actually have quite a lot of this. I bought it from, it was just at a thrift store. And I don't know if there's even a label in here. No, I don't have a label. So oh, I do. And I've got my swatch. Very clever. So this is just Robin double knit. It is 100% acrylic. So I actually quite like acrylic jumpers sometimes. Like I have uses for them. It depends on how close the jumper is going to be to my skin. So I'm quite sensitive. I just have like sensory issues with like pretty much anything. So if it's going to be quite close to my skin, I do prefer acrylic or something that's like maybe merino or something, but then it depends on whether the thing's going to get a lot of wear. If it's going to get a lot of wear, merino's going to pull a lot. So I do have uses for it, but I think I'm going to frog this because I really am not going to go back to working on this one. So that's also sort of an easy win. Glad to get that, and I'm sure I'll find something to use the yarn for in the future. Two easy wins, that's great. And two not so easy. The rest of these I don't think are even actually knitting. So this is what I'm probably going to be spending the rest of my day doing, is working on these. I cut out a bunch of squares to knit, sorry, not knit, to sew some cushion covers. So these are fat quarters that I bought from, some are from Hobbycraft and some of them are just from places like Aldi. And so these I think are some Christmassy ones. They've definitely, yes, we've got like snowflakes and ice creams and unicorns and that sort of thing. So not ice creams. Think of ice cream because it's got cream on the top. It's like a coffee cup with like sprinkles and cream on top. But these are going to be some Christmas ones, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to sew these up right away or if I might just find a better way of storing them. Although I've got 2 project bags free already, so that's good. So we'll put that on that side. These I think were going to be for my studio. These are some Harry Potter squares that I bought, I think in 2017 still. That, well, not squares, they were fat quarters that I bought in 2017, and I eventually cut them up last year. And now I think I might sew them this year. So these are also for cushion covers, and we've got some magical creatures, just some random like mischief managed, some Quidditch things, that sort of thing. So I think we're going to maybe sew these up, although I don't have a huge need for any cushion covers in my studio at the moment, so these are kind of like on the maybe pile. these are a definite, I'm going to sew these up today. So this is these are fat quarters, which I'm pretty sure I bought from Hobbycraft, and these are kind of more neutral pinky peachy tones, and these I was originally going to sew them up as a cushion for our lounge, but that was our previous lounge, which had purple in it. This one's more blue, so I'm thinking I might use these in the bedroom because I've got quite some pinky peachy tones, and our bedroom's got a lot of pinky peach. So that's something that I need to sew up ASAP, because that's definitely something we'll use very soon. So this is another bag, which I love this kind of tartany fabric, which came from my grandmother. My grandmother was an Armstrong, so I'm not 100% sure. I need to double check. I'll put it at the bottom if this is the Armstrong tartan or not. But it was just some offcuts that she had. Oh, these are quite big pieces. What was I doing with these? I might have been going to make handkerchiefs, but they're quite big. So if I was making handkerchiefs, I haven't cut them out yet, I don't think. Because these are like pretty much almost full size. I don't know if they are full size or almost full size. So I'm not actually sure what I was doing with these. So these I could probably just pack away with the rest of my fat quarters and just kind of keep them on the side and say that's a free bag for me, because I can't remember what I was doing with these. So that might be a thing. Or I might have been making handkerchiefs. I can ask my husband if he remembers. I think 2 of those colours were for me and 2 of them were for him, so that they might be handkerchiefs. And then we've got to the last bag, and these were actually, I remember, some of this like more florally fabric was actually from a t-shirt, oh not a t-shirt, like a blouse that my mom had, and then this other blue is actually called shwe shwe fabric. This was for some placemats I made for my husband. It was a present for him. Oh! This is another free bag. Apparently it's just yarn labels. I'm not 100% sure why I'm keeping these. I stick in my yarn labels into like my project notebooks and stuff, but obviously this might have been before I was keeping project notes in a hard copy book. So I will go through these and have a look, but that is actually, and even if I am keeping them, I'll put them in a box, because these are definitely, this can be used for socks or something else. So that's great. I've got 4 easy win bags, which I'm very happy about, because I didn't want to sew, I definitely wasn't going to sew any more project bags, because I know I've got quite a few. And I don't like to have too many projects on the go. Like, I know I've got 2 here, but which are from ages ago, but those have kind of been, I suppose, hibernating, because I have not really been knitting on them at all since I put them away. I either like knit on a project till it's finished, or I tend to just put it away and then it languishes for quite a while. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions about what you would do with labels and stuff. I think at one point I was thinking of making some sort of bunting, but then it never went that way. So if you guys have any suggestions about what you like to do with labels, other than keeping them in kind of like journals, yeah, that's the only kind of question I have. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, going through all my project bags and seeing what was in them and all my whips. I'm glad that I don't have too many whips to work on. Actually, looking at it, I only have 3 cushion covers that I was going to sew, and these are just the fronts. I'm only kind of doing like patchwork squares for the fronts, and the back I'm just going to use like solid fabric. So I might actually land up sewing all 3 of those today, because I'm the sort of person who, like, if I'm going to set up my sewing machine, I'd rather just sew a whole bunch and then be done, rather than keep setting it up and putting it away and setting it up. So I think that might be what's going to happen today. I feel like this ending has been a little bit higgledy-piggledy all over the place, but I hope you enjoyed looking through this with me, and I hope that you got some inspiration maybe for your own whip projects. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Hopefully the next video won't be too long coming. I know I've been a little bit lax, but yeah, let me just end it there and stop rambling on. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!